Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video. I told you I'll be dropping video back to back, and that's what I'm doing. And I noticed a lot of you already know that I'm doing it exactly as I've said it. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you why it's necessary for you to turn off your high frequency when you're brushing your Gaussian blur layout. So the only thing I've done in this image after bringing it from Camera Raw is to use the retouch for me plugins to remove blemishes. And I've talked about the retouch for me plugins over and over. I use retouch for me heal to remove blemishes. That's the only thing I've done. As you can see, that's the only thing I've done. So if you're that kind of person that wants your work to be fast like that, go ahead, check the description box for retouch for me plugin and get retouch for me heal or any other one you like from my previous videos. So let's dive into the video. So I'm going to use my Retouch Academy and click on Gaussian blur, which is the normal one that we have been using. I'm going to be using the default setting just because of this class. I'm going to be using the default setting. So I'm going to turn off. I'm going to do two different brushing for you. So I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm going to call this on blur. Then I'm going to brush. So with this on, I'm just going to start brushing. These are my brush settings that I'm using for this video, and I am going to be using my paintbrush to just paint. Now, if I look at the image like this, it will be looking like I have touched every single part of the image already, most especially the face. It will be looking as if I've touched every part of the face. But you will never know where to brush next because it's already looking balanced to you. But when you use the method where you get to turn off, let's call this call this one off. Once you are brushing and you turn off your high frequency and you start brushing, most especially for beginners, as a professional, you can work with your high frequency turned on. Mind you, the reason why I am working these two different ways and it's not affecting me is because if this is on and this particular part is also on, sample or layout, whatever I click here, it will be sampling everything, both the one above and the one below. It will be sampling anything that it sees. So it's off. That's why I'm not brushing on an empty layout. I'm brushing here. So if you want to just brush without stressing and going back and front, just turn that off and brush the way I'm brushing now. So I'm going to be brushing. I just want you to see the difference between the both brushing. All right. So another thing I normally do is I don't just brush with one brush size. My hand is always on the open and close bracket to make my brush bigger and smaller. So I'm doing that as I go. So now what I want to show you is this. Once you turn off the high frequency and you're brushing, you notice the areas that you have not touched. Look at this middle now. I have not touched this place. So the areas that you have not touched, you'll be able to touch them and continue, because the areas that you have touched will be smoother. For example, I've not touched this area. If I turn this on, my face is sharp and the hand is not sharp based on the focal length I was using. But let me just turn this off and brush. It will be very obvious. You'll be noticing that there is difference there. You'll be noticing the difference because it will not be looking the same. But if I don't turn that off, if I'm brushing, I'll not even know the place I've stopped, the place I've not reached. So it is very, very important that you know why you're turning off your blur and why you're turning on your blur. If you want that kind of thing, that you want to take your time and brush every single part of the image, turning off your high frequency will enable you see the areas that you have not touched while you're brushing. It's not like you will not notice that you have not, if the image is very rough, you know the areas that you have touched. Some persons don't like touching every part of their image, but using this method will also make you know that, okay, this part I purposely did not touch this part, and the face of the image was already looking like this. So for me, I normally turn it off when the image is very, very complicated. When I want to do a more complicated edit, I turn it off. But if it's something very, very simple, I just want to go back and front with, I don't stress. I just do it the way I'm doing it now. When you're done doing it, you just turn on your high frequency. You notice that you have touched every part of the image. See. Now this particular one, this up one now. Let me bring it down. See. Let's just zoom into the face. Then let's turn on and off. You notice that we did more brushing with this because we were seeing the areas that we were brushing. So if you want to work and be seeing the areas that you have not brushed, it will be very clear because once you touch it with your brush, it will be smoother. Let me turn this off. See, look at these areas. These areas are showing that I did not touch them. It's not as smooth as these areas I have touched compared to the one I had to turn the high frequency off. See the blur everywhere is showing that it's blur. Let me turn it on again. Let me use the one that is on, the one that I did not turn off this high frequency. You see, it's very, very clear that these areas I did not touch them. So that is the main reason why, to me, we turn on our blur layout whenever we want to start painting, so that when we paint, we know the areas that we have painted and the areas that we did not touch. It helps us to work better. So if you're that kind of, you're a beginner, don't do it because everybody is doing it. Know why you're doing it. So you should probably just turn on your blur and brush. When you're done, you can still check your images and still touch the areas that you feel like is not okay. But when you turn it on, it will enable you not overbrush or know exactly what you're brushing. So I hope this video has taught us something. I hope this video was helpful. Please, I'll do well to see you in my next video.